What is up, guys? As you can see, today we're back with another League of Legends Wild Rift video, and Riot has recently confirmed 36 out of the 40 champions that will be available as soon as the game is released. As you know, they won't be porting all the 120, 130, whatever it is, League of Legends champions of the PC version right away. They decided for 40 at the start, and then they will keep adding more as the game goes on. And yeah, they recently confirmed 36 out of those. We saw a lot of those already in the trailers, so this doesn't seem like some fake leak. And yeah, as you can see, it's on the screen right now. Now I took the liberty to make a little bit of a better list where you can see where these heroes go, in which roles, of course, for the people who haven't played the PC version yet, which I assume there's a lot of you guys, since we are a mobile gaming channel. Anyway, so here it is. You can see here, I'll actually full screen it. There we go. So I tried to put the heroes in the role where they are most commonly seen. Of course, a lot of these heroes, just like in Arena of Valor, just like in any other MOBA game, you can flex them into different roles. However, I just put them into the one where they're most seen. Like, for example, Yasuo used to be mostly mid lane. Now he's mostly played in the bottom lane in the PC version as a marksman, but as a melee ADC basically. However, I ignored those things. Wherever the heroes were seen the most, I put them there. So as you can see, let's start with the top lane. And we see there's Dr. Mundo. He's like a tank guy. I won't go too detailed into the heroes because it would just make the video way too long. So you can I'll tell you the names, you can check them out on YouTube yourselves. So anyway, so Dr. Mundo, classic tank guy. Fiora, classic, really high skill cap warrior, received a very cool rework in League of Legends a couple of years back. And yeah, then we have Garen, which is the classic, very cheap to buy hero that everyone recommends for new players. Like he's basically Arthur. Then we have Malphite, again classic tank with a very good engage ultimate. Then we have Nasus, again very nice warrior that relies on stacking one of his abilities, a melee melee hit ability that just keeps on stacking like more and more damage by last hitting minions. So he's gonna be really cool too. Then we have Teemo. He is like a ranged little magic damage marksman guy, but he's mostly played in the top lane. He's not really played a lot in any lane right now. He hasn't been good in League of Legends historically. But yeah, I put him top lane. And then we have Tryndamere, which is the guy who basically has an ult that makes him not able to die. And you can see for top lane, they were very reserved. They didn't put too many super high skill cap heroes yet. There is a lot of high skill cap heroes in the top lane. So there's a lot to look forward to. Stuff like, I don't know, Cannon is mostly used in the top lane. Stuff like that. So, but right now there's 7 heroes that I would put top lane. Of course, you can play other stuff like Camille, you can put top lane, you can play Olaf top lane, you can play Fizz top lane, Yasuo top lane. As I said, a lot of these heroes are very flexible. So yeah, but these are the basic 7. Then we move on to jungle. We have Camille. Again, she can be picked top, mid, or jungle, but it's mostly jungle nowadays. And she's basically a really high skill cap assassin. Then we have Gragas, like a magic damage, disengage, engage type of guy. Really cool to play too. Then we have Master Yi, which is just the standard melee, not really assassin, melee auto attack guy who just runs super fast, does a lot of damage melee. I assume he's gonna be very popular. He's pretty popular in lower ranks in League of Legends on the PC version. Then we have Olaf, very classic warrior, has an ult that makes him ignore all the CC effects for a couple seconds. And yeah, then we have Shobana. She can turn into a dragon with her ult. She's really good for counter jungling, very decent jungler. Also can be played in the top lane but mostly used in jungle lately. Then we have Vi, again, a very nice gank-oriented jungler, has an ult that just locks onto an enemy, knocks them up, does a lot of damage, really nice, very nice jungler, viable in a lot of ways because of just her, because of how her kit works. Then we have Xin Zhao. He was also reworked recently in League of Legends, like 2 years ago maybe, and yeah, also a very nice jungler, has a skill where you have to hit the enemy 3 times and the 3rd time it knocks him up. He has a jump, so classic gank-oriented jungler again. Then we move to mid lane, and you can see mid lane has a lot more choices, and I feel like it's a little bit unfair. I mean, I am happy because I'm a mid laner, but it's a little bit unfair because mid lane has so many high skill cap heroes and the other roles not so much, and I feel like a lot of these heroes will be able to be played mid lane, like Camille, as I said. I feel like Ezreal will be more of a mid laner than a bottom laner in the mobile version. He already is played mid lane a lot in the PC version as well. So anyway, we start off with Ahri, very one of the most well-known heroes in League of Legends. A lot of people like it, a lot of people love it. She has 3 dashes as her ult, has like a charm ability, really high skill cap, high mobility mage. Then we have Annie, the standard mage recommended to all the new players. She can cast, you can compare her a little bit to Ishar in League of Legends. She can cast, her ult is like a huge bear that spawns and it stuns everyone if she uses it with her passive, and then it just does so much damage, it burns and stuff like that. Then we have Fizz, a really annoying hero to play against. He basically throws out a little fish and it spawns a shark below you, knocks you up, does half your health in damage. Absolutely crazy hero. He has a lot of invulnerabilities, jumping around and stuff. Then we have Lux. Maybe I should show which one I'm looking at. We have Lux, a pretty standard long-range mage, has like a laser ult that has like 1/3 of the map range, really burst-oriented. Then we have Orianna, one of my favorite heroes in League of Legends on the PC version, and one of the most exciting heroes in the mobile version, in my opinion. She has a very unique mechanic. She has a ball, like she's a robot girl, robot doll, and she has a little ball that she can command around her, and she basically sends out the ball, and the rest of her abilities are tied to the ball, like her ult sucks everyone in around the ball and does a ton of damage, so huge skill cap as well. Then we have Twisted Fate, a very high skill cap hero. I don't know why they gave mid lane all the fun, and I don't know, a little bit unfair for the jungle, I would say. There's no Lee Sin, there's no stuff like that. Anyway, so Twisted Fate, he's like a magician type of guy. He can teleport across the map with his ultimate to gank, and he has like a card mechanic where he presses a skill, he presses his W, and then cards above his head rotate, and whichever card you press the skill on again will determine your next auto attack's effect. Like he has a stun, he has an AoE slow, or a blue card which regenerates mana for him. Then we have Yasuo, of course, one of the most anticipated heroes for this game as well. Super high skill cap. He can basically dash an infinite amount of times through minion waves. It will be really difficult to steer this on a mobile device, in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward to practicing this guy and learning him. As I said, I feel like he will be played in the bottom lane a lot. He can also be played top lane, especially against some of these heroes. It seems like it will be okay because there's not a lot of other of the new top lane heroes that are in the PC version that would counter him. And yeah, but he was historically a mid laner, so I put him here. He will be definitely viable there too. Then we have Zed, again, super high skill cap assassin. He creates shadows. If you played Mobile Legends, it's a little bit like Hayabusa. Not really, but a little bit. And his ult basically makes him jump on an enemy, and he creates a shadow. Then he can create another shadow, and then whenever he uses one of his other two abilities, one of them is a shuriken, his shadows throw the shuriken as well, and then you just blow up the enemy with 3 shurikens. That's your combo basically. And then we have Ziggs, one of my favorite heroes too. Really annoying hero to play against. He basically throws these bouncy bombs that bounce to extend the range, and it's just huge poke mage, and he has like a very long range ult that just throws a huge bomb on top of the enemies, AoE damage, really fun to play. Then we move on to the supports, and this is something I'm very happy about. They didn't put in too little supports. There's 6 supports. There's some other heroes that can be played as support. I think Gragas will be a very strong support as well. I think, yeah, that's it. Malphite can be played as a support, but probably not. But Gragas will be one of the strongest supports. I still put him in the jungle because he's more seen there. Anyway, so Alistar is basically Toro, but good. He has his little combo where he uses his S2 to dash onto an enemy and then knocks everyone around himself up with his first ability. And yeah, really good engager. His ultimate makes him get damage reduction, a ton of it. So very tanky guy. Then we have Blitzcrank. He has a hook. That's basically it. He has a hook and he can knock you up. He can silence you with his ult. It's all about the hook. If you can hit the hook, you're a god. If you can't hit the hook, don't pick him. And then we have Brahm, again, really cool hero. He has a little wall that you can set up where auto attacks and stuff, if you auto attack an enemy behind him, it will stop at the wall and he will absorb the damage and reduce it by a ton. So, and then he has his ult, which just throws a huge ice fissure that knocks up everyone on the way. Then we have Janna, one of the most classic supports in League of Legends. She's been there since day one, since the release of the game. One of the original 40 heroes, I think, in the PC version. And basically she can give you a shield that gives you armor, I mean a shield, right? And attack damage. And then she has an ult that throws everyone away from her, of the enemies, and creates a healing wind, I guess, around her. And she has a knock-up, an AoE knock-up that she can charge to make it last longer and go further. And then we have, excuse me, I stopped putting the mouse on the avatars again. Then we have Nami. She's basically a little mermaid. She can knock people up with a bubble. She can buff your teammates next to the auto attacks with a slow and magic damage buff. And then her ult basically throws a huge tidal wave that has very long range, like 1/4 of the map range, but it travels really slowly. But if it hits you, it knocks you up and slows you for a very large amount. And then we have Soraka, again, one of the classic heroes of League of Legends. Basically just a heal support, heals with one of her abilities. The ultimate heals everyone on the map, on her team, for a large amount, so she has a global ultimate, very cool. And then we move on to the Marksmen already. This is also a pretty exciting roster, in my opinion. We have Ashe, and we saw that Ashe is a little bit different than in the PC version. So I think a lot of these heroes will be changed compared to the PC version. For example, Ashe can, usually she just has a yarn arrow that just throws the arrow, and as soon as it hits someone it just travels across the map. And if it hits an enemy, it stuns them. And the longer it travels, the longer it stuns, up to a maximum of 5 seconds, I think. And then, and she can't steer it in the PC version, but we saw in some trailers that she could steer the ult and make it go in circles and stuff in the mobile version. So that's something to look out for. Then we have Ezreal, my all-time favorite champion in League of Legends. I played like 1,000 rounds of this guy, so yeah, absolutely looking forward to this guy. He has a very basic kit. He only has skill shots. He doesn't have any clickable skills. Only skill shots. His ult is also a map-wide ult, but it only does damage. Then he has his first ability is a little shot that applies all the on-hit effects except for crits. And so you can slow people with red buff or Iceborne gauntlets, stuff like that. and then whenever you hit that first ability onto someone, you reduce all your remaining cooldowns by 1 second. So you basically just spam your abilities as long as you keep hitting those S1s. So really cool, really high skill cap hero. One of the most popular heroes. He's not always super strong, but he always has like a 20% pick rate. So every 5th game in League of Legends in ranked has an Ezreal in it, because everyone just loves the hero. It's so much fun. Then we move on to Jhin, one of the newer heroes. He basically revolves all around his crit. He can't crit, but he has like a reload mechanic. He only has 4 shots in his magazine, and then he has to reload for a second. And always his 4th shot, his last shot in the magazine, will always crit, guaranteed. And then he has like a crazy passive where buying crit, buying attack speed doesn't actually give him attack speed or crit. Those two are set, but it gives him more AD. So he can have the highest AD out of any hero in the game. And I think the highest move speed as well, something like that. Very cool hero. And his ult is basically 4 Elsu snipes in a row, and the 4th one crits. So really cool hero. Then we move on to Jinx. She basically revolves around as well. She has a global ultimate. She shoots a huge rocket all across the map. If it hits an enemy, it does a ton of damage, and the lower the enemy is, the more damage it does. And then she has her whole point is the first ability, which makes her switch guns. She has 2 guns. One is like a high attack speed gun. The more you attack, the more attack speed you get. It's like a mini gun, and but it has a pretty small range. But then she has a huge range bazooka, and she can just freely switch between these two. And the bazooka shots cost mana, however, like 20 mana a pop. And these bazooka shots are way larger range, way less attack speed, but they're AoE, and they can also crit AoE. So think of it like Wisp. Then we have the Misfortune. She's a pirate girl. Her whole point is basically her ultimate makes her stand in place and just shoot in a cone in front of her. And if it hits like 3 people in a team fight, and she just keeps shooting over like 5 seconds. And if you hit the full ult, the full 5 seconds, you pretty much kill anyone. So again, very cool hero. Then we have Varus, which is also like a marksman. He can be played on attack speed with an attack speed build, because he has a passive that does percentage health damage, so he can shred tanks with that. Or he can be played again mid lane as well with a burst build, where you just focus on your first ability, which is like a huge poke, and the longer you charge it, the longer range it gets, and the more damage it does as well. Actually, I don't think it increases the damage, but anyway, it's just like a huge physical damage arrow that does so much damage, AoE, and you can build him on that, and it does like 1/3, half damage, half health of enemies late game. And then lastly, we have Vayne, which is again one of the most popular marksmen in League of Legends. Her whole point is with her ultimate, she gains extra movement speed, extra attack damage, and with her first ability, she can roll a very tiny amount. She has the smallest dash ever. It can't go through any walls, but it is a small dash to dodge skill shots and to keep chasing people. And whenever she pops her ult and then uses her first ability, it has, I think, less cooldown, and it also makes her turn invisible, which is super cool. It's a really like a 1v5 hero, super weak early game, absolutely broken late game. And then she also has like every 3rd hit does true damage, percentage health. So she basically just kills everyone, even tanks late game. And yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this little brief rundown of all the confirmed heroes so far. As I said, this seems to be a very trustworthy so far, because we saw most of these in a what's it called, in a trailer already, and the ones that we haven't seen in a trailer, the other 30, they were actually already confirmed by Riot on the official Twitter. So yeah, as I said, I'm very excited about this roster. I assume this will probably be all the mid laners. I don't think the remaining 4 will have any mid laners. They'll probably add one more support and maybe one each for the other roles, because as I said, mid lane is already super stacked. I'm very happy about that. But yeah, I definitely think top needs some love, and jungle maybe as well. I know they can't really add Lee Sin. It will be too hard to do with the ward hops and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah. So if you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like. Please let me know what other type of content you want to see about this game. I'm sure you guys are as excited as I am. So I have a little Q&A of the developers that I was going to react to. If you guys want to see it, please just let me know in the comments. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, boys. Bye-bye.